when people come out of colleges and whether they are learning management or learning engineering or learning any other discipline, mostly they are looking at a job or they are looking at a business or a career. Okay, and which is good, nothing wrong with it. But I think it's now important, especially with this coronavirus situation. I think people are getting to understand that you need to see the world differently. Okay, so I am going to ask you a question. Okay, everybody, what is the biggest problem on the planet right now? See, we are teaching students to come out of colleges and then come become professional, right? And they're going into the world. So let's look at what is the biggest problem on the planet right now. Okay, so Ansar is saying economy, yeah, COVID. Sadish, COVID is like a, yeah, you're right. It's like right now. But when I say it will be a time bound, right? But overall, what is the problem? So COVID, communication, wrong information. Okay, somebody said economy earlier, employment. Okay, good. I'll, can some, let's have responses from other people. Proper guidance. Okay, human mistake. Okay, great. Okay, what are the other, right? Okay, clarity on what's the future. Okay, pandemic. Yeah, I think poverty. Yes, adaptability, way of doing things in education, business. Okay, very good. By the way, I liked things that I saw on your website. And okay, so let me tell you, see, the whatever problems some of you mentioned, are many of you mentioned like very short-term problem. But I'm looking at little holistic in nature. And some of you pointed towards poverty, some of you pointed towards economy, right? Some of you pointed towards human mistake. I think that's in a good direction. So let me see if I can show you a slide, and then I want to talk about the three. Somebody's written, who is this HOD IT is written, humanity itself is the biggest problem. You're right. Let's see if I can show you the slide. Okay. Okay. So give me 1 second. Oh, what a, it disappeared. Okay. Right. Okay, can you see the screen now?
It's loading, sir.
Okay.
I think.
Can
Everybody
you
is
let me
able
know?
to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are
Yeah.
able to see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So if you see on the top, top half of the slide, you will see it says eco divide, social divide, and spiritual divide. Everybody, you can see that? Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are able to see your slide.
Okay, good. So the eco divide, the social divide, and spiritual divide. Okay, and I will come back to this slide, but let me stop the presentation again. So let me explain to you what is this eco divide and social divide and the spiritual divide. So there are very many ways to understand eco divide, but one of the simplest way to understand eco divide is the disconnect between human beings and nature. Human beings are not connected to the nature, right? And again, there is a lot of data you can understand, but one simple data point is we as human beings are using 1.5 times the regenerative capacity of planet Earth. Okay, So as a planet, it has a resource, it can regenerate itself. So if you use some of the resources, it is not a problem. The planet can regenerate itself. Okay. So it's not saying, nobody's saying you don't use the resources at all. You can use it. It's there for humanity, and it's there for, of course, all other species also. But what is happening is the planet has some regenerative capacity. Let's call it X. But we are using 1.5 times of that. Okay, so that is one of the big divides. That is, human beings are not connected to the ecosystem and the nature, and that has led to so many problems, as we know, right? From the deforestations to the Amazon fires to the climate change and all of that, right? So that's one. Second is the social divide. And again, social divide is showing up in many ways. People are not, what does social divide mean? Social divide means people are not connected to other people. Human beings are disconnected from human beings. It could be, again, for many reasons. There are many reasons why people are not connected to each other. We don't want to go into all of them, but one very simple one you can see is the financial divide. As some of you might have read, 1% of the population has more wealth than 50% of the population, right? Now, if that is not going to cause a divide, then I don't know what is. So, like 60 people have more wealth, right, than like the whole country. Now, that is one of the ways to understand the social divide. How much people are disconnected from each other. Of course, it shows up everywhere. Politicians are not connected with the citizens. Citizens are also not connected with each other. There is religion divide, caste divide, creed divide, region divide, country divide, all that stuff, right? So, bottom line is we are not connected to each other ourselves, right? As human beings to human beings. So I have talked about two divides. Eco divide is human beings are disconnected with nature. Social divide is human beings are disconnected from other human beings. And the third divide is what he calls as spiritual divide. What is spiritual divide? People are not connected to their real self. They're not connected to themselves. And what it leads